Imagine this: you've just had a long, exhausting day at work. You come home, hoping for some peace and quiet, only to be met by the relentless thumping of music from your neighbor, or worse, piles of hoarded items spilling into the corridor, creating a safety hazard. How would you deal with that? Well, Singapore has just passed a bill that aims to address exactly these kinds of disputes, bringing hope for those who find themselves in such frustrating situations. Welcome to 2230, your go-to channel for in-depth news coverage that doesn't just inform, but helps you think about the issues affecting our communities. Today, we're diving into the recently passed Community Disputes Resolution Amendment Bill, which has the potential to significantly change how Singaporeans manage troublesome neighbors and community disputes. Stay with us to find out what these changes mean for you. The Singapore government has just passed a groundbreaking bill aimed at better resolving community disputes, the kind that often leaves neighbors at odds. We're talking about issues like severe noise disturbances and hoarding problems that can threaten the peace and safety of a community. The Community Disputes Resolution Amendment Bill was passed on November 12, 2024, after a heated debate in Parliament where members of Parliament or MPs raised critical concerns, ranging from privacy issues to the complex handling of residents with mental health conditions. Minister for Culture, Community and Youth, Edwin Tong, emphasized that these enhancements are aimed at dealing with the numerous cases that agencies handle every year, cases where neighbors are unwilling to engage with one another or where it's hard to prove the existence of transient noise. However, the minister was candid, stating that while these changes are helpful, they are not a silver bullet. The success of these measures will still depend heavily on each Singaporean's commitment to making their communities better. So, what exactly is new here? The bill introduces several major changes to the Community Disputes Management Framework, including the formation of a Community Relations Unit, or CRU. This unit is designed to have investigatory and enforcement powers that will allow it to step in when disputes between neighbors get out of hand, cases that may not be serious enough to involve law enforcement, yet cause significant disruption in people's lives. The CRU will operate under the Municipal Service Office, managed by the Ministry of National Development, and will have discretion to assess the severity of each case. Now, you might be wondering, what about privacy? That's a big concern whenever we talk about giving a government unit more powers to monitor or investigate. Senior Minister of State for National Development Sim Ann explained that the CRU will focus on severe noise and hoarding cases. They will be able to take statements, photographs and recordings and even deploy noise sensors. These sensors, however, will only be used with consent, either from the residents or from managing agents of common areas. To protect privacy, these sensors will transmit data to Singapore-based servers, and strict access controls will ensure that the actual conversations won't be available to officers. Only the relevant noise data, things like the timing and intensity of noise, will be kept, and only for use in investigations and court proceedings. But it's not just noise that's being addressed, the CRU will also tackle severe hoarding cases. Hoarding may seem like a minor issue, but it can lead to serious health and safety risks. Imagine having a neighbor whose piles of items not only attract pests but also block common walkways. The complexity of hoarding behavior often involves mental health issues, trauma, or grief, making these cases especially challenging. Simon highlighted that frontline officers will continue to balance between respecting an individual's right to keep their property as they wish and ensuring that neighbors can enjoy their homes in peace. If hoarding becomes a severe problem that can't be resolved voluntarily, the CRU will have the power to apply for a forced decluttering order from the Community Disputes Resolution Tribunals, or CDRT. One of the most significant steps forward is the introduction of enforcement powers. The CRU will be empowered to issue advisories and warnings for severe noise issues. If these warnings are ignored, the case could be escalated to the Housing and Development Board (HDB), which could even consider compulsory acquisition of the offender's unit, though this would only be a last resort. It's a drastic measure, but one meant to protect the wider community when all else has failed. The new unit will first be piloted in Tampines, chosen because it has an average caseload compared to other towns, making it ideal for testing out this new approach. The pilot will begin operations in the second quarter of 2025. By starting small, the government aims to learn and adapt the program before scaling it up across Singapore. And here's an important point: the government is not looking to be overly prescriptive. Minister Edwin Tong made it clear that the intention is for neighbors to still have room to resolve their issues themselves first, ideally through mediation. But if mediation fails, then community officers can step in to direct mandatory mediation. If even that doesn't work, the CDRT will serve as the last resort, with enhanced powers to address more complex disputes, including those involving mental health conditions. For cases involving mental health, the tribunals will now have the ability to issue a mandatory treatment order (MTO), ensuring that residents receive the help they need without immediately resorting to criminal action. But again, the focus is on persuading individuals to seek help voluntarily, with MTOs as a last option. Viewer engagement. This new approach is designed to bring balance to the delicate relationships between neighbors while ensuring community well-being. What do you think? Do you believe the introduction of the Community Relations Unit will effectively address neighbor disputes? Or do you think it might go too far in terms of enforcement? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and join the discussion. If you've ever had a noisy or inconsiderate neighbor, you know how frustrating it can be. Would you support these measures if it meant a peaceful night's sleep? Or are you concerned about privacy and government intervention in such personal matters? If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, please hit that like button, share this video with friends and neighbors, and subscribe to 2230 for more detailed and engaging coverage on the issues that affect our lives. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us bring more of these insightful stories straight to you. Remember, resolving community disputes is not just about enforcement, it's about understanding, compromise, and ultimately, being a good neighbor. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged, here at 2230.